Today I will start topic number 7, energy efficient motor and drives in EMC, that is in energy conservation and management, ECM. So in introduction part of this particular chapter, we have to discuss the type of motors which are used in industry and what type of energy efficient drives are there in industry which are used for production system. So it is that there are three types of motors which are used normally in industrial setup, that is AC induction motor, AC synchronous motor and DC motor. These are the three motors which are commonly used in the industry for any production process. So here when we talk about energy efficient motor, then motor which have 90% of the motor used in the squirrel cage induction motor in the industry, and they are very rough in construction. And second one is the DC motors were also used, which are also robust in construction and easy for control of speed and taking up the load. So at variable load the speed can be changed accordingly by process of controlling this type of motors. So when we talk about energy efficient motors, it means that from the point of view of the losses in the motor, if the losses of the motors are reduced, then definitely the efficiency will increase. So there are different type of losses are there in the motors, and mainly these losses due to one is due to the friction loss. It is a rotation. If the friction loss is there, then motor efficiency goes down. Similarly, if the motor design is like this, that copper losses are there in the motor, then also it will affect the efficiency of the motor. And if the iron losses are there, then also it affect the efficiency of the motor. So construction of motor or design of motor should be done in such a way that we can minimize its losses in all the respect: wear and tear, friction losses, or friction or windage losses, or the losses due to copper losses, that is I square R loss. So we can get the energy efficient motor. Now motor efficiency is given by output upon input plus losses. This is the general formula used for calculation of the motor. Now when we design for iron loss of the motor, then it is observed that the iron loss of the motor is depend on the flux density in the core, which is inversely proportional to core length. It means that if the core length we minimize, then flux density will increase in the core, and that will reduce the core losses. Similarly, core losses also proportional to eddy current loss, and that is inversely proportional to the thickness of the core. So here for reducing this core losses, there are two factors. One is the core length and one is the thickness of the core. So if we reduce, because these are the inversely proportional, so when we reduce the core length and reduce the thickness of the core, so we can increase the eddy current losses can be reduced, and flux density in the core can be increased. So these two factors we have to observe at the time of design. Then for stator copper loss, we have to see for the cross sectional area of the conductor which is used for the winding. So by reducing stator conductor's resistance, this loss can be reduced. So use of larger size of conductor which have diameter more, so cross sectional area will also more, so resistance of the conductor will decrease. That is R is equal to rho L upon A. So rho is the resistivity of the conductor, A is the area, and L is the length of the conductor. So if we reduce the length of the conductor by in the stator winding and increase the cross sectional area of the conductor in the stator winding, then the stator copper loss can be reduced. Then third is the rotor copper loss. In the rotor copper loss, we use in the large size of the bars can be used for the rotor to increase the cross sectional area of the rotor winding. So when it is a squirrel cage motor, so we can use the copper strips of the thickness which is sufficient to increase the cross sectional area of the rotor strips, so that the rotor copper loss can be reduced. Then fourth loss is the friction and windage loss. So use of good quality of bearings, this loss can be reduced. And also when we use the fans for the cooling of the motor, if it is efficient fans are used, so they can also reduce the losses due to the windage loss. Windage loss means whatever wind pressure is there in the cross sectional area between stator and rotor, the proper size of fan and proper weight of the fan can be used for cooling purpose, so they can reduce the windage losses. Then stray load loss, this is the fifth one, in which we can increase the efficiency of the motor or drives. There these losses can be reduced by centrifugal selection or the careful selection of the slot number rather with at the time of design. So at the time of design, if we want to reduce the stray losses, then the size of the slot is properly selected to optimize design and having good quality control. So these are the some factors which increase the efficiency of the motor. So when the efficiency of the motor is increased by these 5 points which I have given, that is iron loss, copper loss in stator, copper loss in rotor, and friction and windage loss, and the stray load loss. So if these 5 losses are controlled, then we can increase the efficiency of the motor. And when efficiency of the motor is increased, then it is called efficient motor drives, or the efficient drives of the use for the industries. So efficient drives means when efficiency of motor increase, then they become efficient drives. So here what are the characteristics which are important for this? So one is the motor size, second is the operating speed, and third is the inrush current. So these three factors if we control, then also we can increase the efficiency of the drives or the motors. So in this particular chapter, according to course, we have to discuss what type of causes due to low efficiency. So if you reduce those causes or eliminate those causes, then you can increase the efficiency of the motor. So motor efficiency or energy efficient motor, energy efficient electric drives, use of variable speed drives, and power factor improvement, that is the points. So these are the points when we talk about the energy efficient motors. So I have given these points to increase the efficiency of the motor. Now there are certain characteristics of the motor on which we have to exercise, so that according to the use we can select the proper size of the motor or proper rating of the motor according to the load condition. If we select the proper load conditions motor, then we can also save a lot of energy wastage by selection of the proper motor for the proper load. So this is one of the important point in this. Now in use of energy efficient motor, normally it is in a 3 phase, that is use less active and poor quality material, causing the machine operation with considerable sustain situation. So we have to use of energy efficient motor is due to lack of awareness several consumers buy inefficient motors because they are not going into the detail of the design and the aspect of the energy efficiency, so they can purchase the motor without knowledge from the market. So in which there are 3 points are there, that the use in the motor where use of less active and the poor quality material is used for manufacturing, then this will cause the increase of the losses in the motor. Second is the poor quality of the laminations and the insulation. This is the second cause of the poor efficiency of the motor. And third cause is the poor mechanical design of bearing and clutches and gears and the coupling. So this is the mechanical part of that, which is for the power transmission either by belt or gears. So if they are not properly designed or they are not properly selected according to design, then this will also increase the losses in the motor. So whenever we have to go for purchase of any type of drives or motor for the industry or for the purpose of our process manufacturing, then we have to observe these 3 points practically, and we have to just ask the manufacturer that whether these points are considered or not for the design. If you find that these 3 points are there in the motor, that the poor quality material is used, if there you find, then you don't select that motor. Then poor quality of lamination and insulation, if it is used in the motor, then also you should not purchase these motors. So energy efficient motor should be considered in the following circumstances. There are certain circumstances in the industries on which we have to select the energy efficient motors according to this type of circumstances. So first point is that new installation, both separate and the part of the packages such as HVAC system. So this is the one point to be selected for the circumstances, that new installation both separate and as part of packages such as HVAC system. It means that the HVAC system, it should have a separate control or separate type of motors required for HVAC system, and separate motors we use for the production methods or process of production. So this is the circumstantial problem which can be solved easily by separation of these two different type of use of the motor. So for two different type of use, you select two different type of motors for the purpose. Then when motor modifications are made to set to facility or a process, so according to process of manufacturing, you have to modify the design of the motor according to the process of manufacturing. So if variable speed drives is required, then you should use the proper control for the variable speed. So their speed control methods are there for DC motor and AC motor both. So whatever type of control system available for speed control, you have to use them according to use in your process. Then the third point is that instead of rewinding motor, you have to go for the new motor. Normally what happens, when motor burns and after that we go for rewinding. So rewinding is not exactly done by selection of the cross-sectional area of conductor and type of insulation. So by rewinding, the motor efficiency drop to 10 to 20% efficiency drop if you use a rewinded motor in the system. So whenever a big motors normally more than 5 HP, if it is burned, then better to purchase a new motor for the process, because they are running continuous in the process. So if you go for rewinding of motor, then definitely due to non-accuracy in the rewinding work, there is a loss of 10 to 20% of efficiency of motor due to use of poor material by the rewinders. So in that case also the efficiency of the motors reduce. So you don't go for rewinding of motor if it is used continuously in a plant, and if it is burned suppose, so you go for purchase of new motor and install a new motor to get proper efficiency. So this is one of the point. Then as a part of preventive maintenance or energy conservation plan, you have to maintain the motor according to there is a particular type of troubleshooting chart given by the manufacturer of the motor. So you go for the preventive maintenance, periodic maintenance and routine maintenance of the motor during the process of manufacturing. So this will also increase the efficiency of the motor. Now we go for the other points, the energy saving opportunity in electric motors. What are the opportunities we can get in electric motors for reducing the losses or increasing the efficiency. So energy saving can be achieved by following point. One is the stopping idle running of the motors. Idle running of the motors, it means that whenever there is no production going on, you off the motor. Normally in many industries motor are running on no load and there is no work but motor are running. So it is due to the mistake of the workers or persons who are doing in the system, they forgot to switch off the motor. So ideal running of the motor should be avoided so that energy can be saved. So this is the one opportunity for energy saving in electric motors. Then second is the making motors with the driven load, means matching the motors HP and its drives by proper matching of the horsepower rating of the load and horsepower rating of the motors. If you require 5 HP motor for 5 HP load, so you select the exact 5 HP motor, don't go for higher HP. So according to the load condition, the selection of horsepower rating of the motor, it should be done with the help of study of the load and by taking the proper testing of the load with the help of that HP formula, that 2 pi nt T1 upon T1 minus T2 upon 34500, that is a formula which is used for calculation of the load. With the help of load, how HP can be decided. So you take the tension on both the side of the load, that is T1 and T2, and difference of that it will give the value of T. So apply the formula that horsepower equal to 2 pi n is the speed and T is the tension, that is T1 minus T2 divided by 4500. So this give the theoretical HP of the load, and with the help of this theoretical calculation horsepower of the load, you select the type of motor for the particular horsepower. If suppose by this formula you get 5 HP as a result, so you go for a selection of 5 HP motor. So theoretical exercise you should be carried out whenever you select any motor for any load, and for that proper procedure and formulas are given, and according to the study of this formula and application of this formula, we can find out the exact value of horsepower rating which is required for a particular type of load. Then third point is there, that improvement by transmission efficiency. That is, transmission efficiency means when load is transferred mechanically, then you have to use replacing V belt by the flat belt. So normally by replacing V belt by flat belt, the 5 to 8% saving can be obtained. So in place of V belt, if you go for selection of the flat belt for power transmission in the motor to the load, then you will save about 5 to 8% of the energy in that. Then more use of the efficient motor. So definitely if on place of ordinary motor, if you use more efficient motor, so you can conserve the energy in that case. Then proper monitoring of the control. So it is proper monitoring of control, it means that whenever motor is running, so you have to maintain its speed according to load. So control system for load control and the speed control, they are properly used, so that particular load for which speed is required, that will automatically adjusted by the load controller or the speed controller device which is used along with the motor. So this will also conserve the energy if proper load and proper speed is maintained according to load. Then use of variable speed drives. This is also one of the point which is meant for conservation of energy by the in field of motor performance, that you use variable speed drive. Variable speed drive means suppose a process which required 3-4 speed in the process of manufacturing. So same motor cannot go for precise control of this speed. So you have to use the variable speed drive. It means that for whatever speed is required for manufacturing, that particular motor or drive will be used for that speed. And if in the same process the speed is changed for production, then you have to use the second motor which is a variable speed drive. So it is a composite design is obtained in the manufacturer. They can produce this combined or the composite design of the variable speed drive, or you can use for the separate variable speed drive. So depending upon the process of manufacturing, whatever speed of the motor required according to process, then you can change the speed of the motor required according to process. So this can be compositely done by use of variable speed drive, or you can go for the separate control of the separate device used for the speed control. So this is the some points which are I have given that for energy saving opportunity in electric motors. So these are all application done in the field of industry or in the manufacturing process. Now energy conservation in electric drives is achieved by the reducing losses in. There are some points are given that energy losses can be reduced with the help of following point in case of electric drives. So energy conservation in electric drive can be achieved by reducing losses in the following way. So first is electrical transmission losses. That is, electrical transmission losses mean in the industries whatever distribution system is there, it should be properly designed according to the length of the conductor, cross sectional area of the conductor, and distribution network of the conductor. So if these points is considered at the time of installation of the wiring or power wiring in the system, then you can reduce the energy losses in that. Unnecessary length of the conductor, it should be avoided, otherwise copper losses will increase in the distribution wire. So that will also cause the inefficiency of the system. Then second one is the conversion losses in the converter. Normally when we have to convert the AC into DC, when according to requirement, if it is necessary, the DC supply is not available, and if you are using a DC generator which is driven by an AC motor, so conversion losses in the AC to DC conversion, it should be reduced by proper maintenance or proper selection of the design generator for that. So normally what happens, DC generation can be takes place in the industry with the help of running a DC generator, and prime mover is of course a AC motor, because supply is in the industry, it is on AC, not on DC. And if you require the DC supply for the purpose of some manufacturing process, then you convert this AC into DC by running a DC generator with the help of a AC motor. So proper design and proper selection of the rating of this converting equipment should be used, so that it can reduce the losses in the system. Then electric motor losses, that is I have already discussed the 5 points which I have given, the type of losses which can occur in the motor. So if you reduce or if you eliminate these losses, then naturally the efficiency of the motor will increase. Then mechanical load in the parts of the transmission system. Now mechanical load in the part of the system means what happen, if suppose you are using flat belt on place of V belt, so you have to see that there should not be slippage in the these flat belt. If there is a slip is there in the this type of flat belt, then this will also cause the loss of energy. So you try to maintain proper tension in the driven load and the drive load. Drive load means motor which driving the load. There is a wheel on the motor, and whatever load you are driving, there is wheel on that load side. So tension between these two wheels, motor wheel, that is the driven load, and the load which is to be driven by the motor. So on both the side, because mechanical power transmission takes with the help of the belt drive, so the belt should have proper tension and there should be no slipping or slippage in the this flat belt drive. So this will also increase the efficiency of the motor. So you have to check for this. Then losses caused by throttling and the control material flow. Now this is in the process material, when there is a process in which throttling is there for mixing of some material for manufacturing, or for use of the manufacturing process, certain intermittent operations are required. So in those cases you have to maintain this throttling of the material, and that is with the help of control material flow. Means the material flow should be controlled properly according to speed of manufacturing. There should be no rushing of the material at the point of manufacturing due to higher speed or lower speed of the motor. Otherwise it will create the disturbance in the manufacturing process, as well as losses will increase in the motor. So this point should be noted for this this particular thing. Now energy conservation in electric drives can be achieved with the help of some points. These points are given as follows. They use efficient semiconductor converters. Now normally there are two types of converter we use. One is the mechanical converter, that is called rotary converter, in which we convert AC to DC. And second is thyristerized control or semiconductor device converters are there. So if we use the semiconductor device converter, then in this the losses will be minimum. So use maximum time your thyristerized control converter for AC to DC. So you will get more efficiency as compared to rotary converter. So this is the one point for saving the energy in this particular case. Then use of efficient motor, it is already we have discussed. Use of variable speed drives, this is also we have discussed. So again and again the similar points they have repeated for the different purpose, but basically what happen, whatever the basic points are there, they are selected according to the particular use of the process of manufacturing. So according to process of manufacturing, first we calculate the load requirement according to theoretical design formula which I have given you, and according to that HP rating is calculated. Then for this HP rating, which particular horsepower of motor is required, that can be selected and purchased from the market and installed on the load. So this is the important point at the time of installation naturally. And whenever a motor burn during the process of manufacturing, in that case you have to don't go for rewinding of the motor. Otherwise, as I have told you, the 10 to 20% of efficiency losses will take place due to improper rewinding of the motors, because the original design, when it is disturbed, then definitely the consumption will increase. This is observed in many cases. Whatever perfection is there in the rewinding, but these losses are occurred due to workmanship as well as the selection of the material of the not good quality as per the design. So these type of losses cannot be avoided by rewinding. So better, if you want to get the similar efficiency as of the new motor, so you go for purchase of new motor instead of rewinding it. But in many cases I have seen in the small industry, the people, if the motor is burned, then they go for rewinding of the motor, and as a result of that the efficiency of the motor goes down and the energy bill of the industry increase, and this is the one of the cause that they have uses the rewinded motors for that purpose. And this can be improved only when you can avoid this rewinding of the motor. Then environment point of view, drive selection is to be taken on the basis of environmental point of view. Then speed range point of view, you have to select the motor. Then duty cycle by basis, you have to select the motor. Then heating of the obtained due to the continuous operation of the motor. So there are 4 points are there in which we have to go for drive selection. First is we keep the environmental condition in our mind, so there should be no environmental pollution due to selection of drive. Second is the speed range is required according to the speed required for the process of manufacturing, according to that you select that. And third is that duty cycle, that how much hours continuously the motor will run, according to that you select the drive, so that there will be no problem or stoppage or shutdown position is not required in that case, because it is selected for proper duty cycle. And the fourth one is the heating effect. So heating effect of the motor, as I have given you, due to the 4 type of losses which I have discussed previously, this will cause ultimately increase of the temperature in the winding of the motor, and that temperature transfer to the stator cover or the covering of the motor. So lot of energy loss in form of heat takes place surrounding the motor. So this will increase the heat or temperature surrounding the motor, and its performance will be affected by the simulation or by addition of the heat continuous in the continuous process. So you try to avoid all these things. So this will be the points which I have discussed today. For today this portion I have covered. The remaining portion I will take on next time. So this is all for today. Thanking you.